Welcome to Touch Eternity podcast. I am your host, Sid Patrick, and here's my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful co-host, Miss Alicia
Running
Nicole.
late, but
She is
here
not running late. She was on
we are
time. She
on.
was on the dime. On the dime tonight. So let's go to the full scene. Ooh.
Woo.
So anyway, what I wanted to tell you guys, so all y'all know tonight, we're going to be going over, look at me upside down. Tarot with Sid, that's what the TWS is in the title for the tonight, and it's tarot the whole story. And so we're going to be going over the swords tonight.
That's going to be
Follow
good
it.
because I've been trying to tarot at home.
Uh-huh.
And for those of us that are learning, it's hard to remember like what each thing means, even to then.
But I don't want you to do, because I don't want you to learn what each thing means. I want you to look at the cards
and
interpret it and sense it, because the meaning changes.
That's what I've been doing though, and that's what I do with my oracle cards, but I've been doing that with my tarot cards.
All right, so let's get into tonight's lesson. So, PowerPoint, the Swords of Tarot. Hostess with the mostest. You got to grab your cards.
I've got my card.
You got your
and
cards.
I've got my card.
The first card is. Gotta get. Oh, it's way over there. All right.
Ace of Swords.
The Ace of Swords. I gotta take this. I really can't read it. All right. The Ace of Swords is the upright is a sharper mind, a clear focus, a new birth of energy, developing and following through on new projects. There may be some questions or uncertainties, but the energy of the sword will cut through the red tape. This card is sometimes thought to suggest surgery and often thought to represent the pen. Therefore, it is particularly good omen for new projects involving writing. Though the card represents ambition and determination, it's also a card of fairness and justice. Reverse, pretty much the direction opposite of the upright aspect. A bad omen for new projects. A lack of ambition, difficulty focusing thoughts or making plans. A warning to avoid taking on too much. As this card often represents writing, reversed it may represent writer's block or lack of creativity. The need for compromise is indicated. Its element is air. Aces relate to beginnings and opportunities. So also for me, this card is also about contracts. Could be a contract. If it's next to something like a relationship, it's a contractual marriage or a contractual something in a relationship. It's also about writing or about creativity. All the aces are about creativity or beginnings or opportunities as well. So when you look at that, just remember.
Could you read medical? Because I read medical. With
It says it's about surgery.
Yeah,
but it's also about surgery.
For like this, to me, I would interpret that as like maybe medicine or doctor or nurse.
So if I was looking at a job for somebody with that, these sword jobs are like doctors, professors, military, policemen, a professor, a medical person in administration, someone who deals with contracts.
All right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, the pen. Yes.
Right. So, that's kind of what I look at when I look at somebody.
I view it as like scalpel.
Right. Well, yeah. So. Well, it's a surgeon. Yeah. I mean, it could be a surgeon. Yeah. Anything like that. Okay. Hey, Josie. All right. The next one is the Two of Swords. Foremost, a suggestion that the subject is the agent of compromise, a diplomat keeping the peace. However, remaining neutral causes internal conflict and doubt. Difficulty in making decisions may result. It may prove valuable to join forces with like-minded person. Keeping the peace will be a short-term task and will lead to personal growth. Reverse, a lack of compromise, breaking the peace, taking sides, perhaps even fueling the hostilities. Treachery, lies, or phony people may also be suggested. Its element is air. The twos relate to choices and balance. I also look at this as like the sword cuts both ways when I look at this. Remember that when you're dealing with this.
I like that phrase.
That the sword may cut both ways. So what's good for one might have to be good for the other. And so I look at that as well as saying that too. And when we get into the symbolism, you're going to find some interesting symbolism with this card as well. The Three of Swords. Now, the Three of Swords is so the upright swords through the heart, just as it appears heartache, hurtful feelings, cruel and cutting words, pent up anger or resentment, released perhaps in the waning moments of an unhappy relationship. Looking at health related issues, the Three of Swords suggests that surgery might be necessary. Traditionally removed absence, delay, division, separation, hatred, and incompatibility. Reversed, where the upright Three of Swords suggests conclusion and clearing the air, however hurtful that might be. Reversed, this card implies lingering pain and frustrations. Perhaps the subject's partner is blatantly unfaithful, but they continue to the unhappy relationship. Perhaps the person in question cannot overcome past trauma and continually dwells on it. A warning that this emotional torture must be confronted at some point, or it will only grow more severe. Traditionally, alienation, loneliness, insanity, confusion, disorder. Its element is air. The threes relate to creativity and fertility. For me too, this also means I also look at this card as family sorrow, and I usually let this pull me into whatever cards are around it. Like I judge what it means by what cards are around it. I'll let that pull me. Okay. The Four, upright, tranquility, introspection, meditation, prayer, resting, healing, temporary withdrawal from stress and strain. I needed that today. Traditionally, solitude, exile, retreat, banishment. Reversed, awakening, recovery, perhaps from an illness or possibly harm. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Let me redo that one.
It's been a day.
I know, I've had a long day.
Yes.
Awakening, recovery, perhaps from illness or possibly from emotional trauma. The painful lesson learned will not be lost. Greater caution will be exercised in the future. The time for resting has passed, or perhaps rest is not possible at this time. Traditionally, circumspection, economy, cautiousness, foresight, sympathy. Its element is air. The fours relate to structure and foundation. The Five. So let me have a little sip of this tea. The Five.
Dynamicism.
Dynamicism. Yeah, you go. Dynamicism and I had a drink for that one. Dynamicism and determination overwhelm kind-heartedness. The victor believes he is right and honorable, but has little compassion or empathy. Victory at what cost? Are those former friends walking away, beaten and intimidated? Short-term victory that may result in long-term loss. Depending on the context, possibly an indicator of abuse. A lesson that you can never win with some people, and sometimes you just have to walk away.
So that makes me think that would be a card that you would read for politicians or people that, I'm serious, like that have some type of leadership political role.
Well, it depends on how they behave. Reverse. The reversal of this card does not really result in a reversal of the meaning. The outcome may be the same, or perhaps a result in the deadlock. If victory is won, it may be a hollow victory haunted by regret, and similar battles are likely to continue. Making peace is the best alternative. Also traditionally read as a bad omen for a new partnership or enterprise. Its element is air. The Five relates to conflicts, challenges, and adaptivity. Okay. Go ahead. Oh, I'm like, go ahead. Oops. I think I need to clap and it's going to just move.
As long as the lights don't go out.
Right? The Six of Swords. Upright journeys by water, perhaps for pleasure, but more likely the Six of Swords metaphorically suggests traveling away from previous confrontation and turmoil. The journey will take the subject to a place of greater harmony on the far shore. What is left behind is also significant. The card suggests moving on from naive and erroneous ideas towards a state of clearer understanding, improved communications, and greater knowledge. Traditionally, expedience, passage, travel, voyage. Reversed, unwilling or unable to leave the current situation behind, feeling trapped or perhaps fearful of the journey. communication problems, misperceptions, travel may be delayed or interrupted. Also, a warning of possible danger from the water. Be wary of storms, flooding, children around swimming pools, and other water hazards. Traditionally, confessions, disclosures, publicity, unwanted marriage proposals, or declarations of love. Its element is air. The sixes relate to sharing, mutual support, and knowledge. And notice that sixes also relate to family. That's cards are very big in numerology. All right. The seven.
I like this picture because it looks like he's trying to run away with all the swords, but then he forgot a couple.
Yeah. Upright, gaining advantage by stealth, taking calculated risks, possibly spying or deceptiveness for strategic reasons. Sometimes an elopement is suggested, often interpreted as a forthcoming journey over land, which may be made in secret. Also could suggest a clandestine affair. Reverse, lack of confidence or perhaps guilt prevent in risk-taking, possibly taking stock of previous actions and working to right past wrongs, working for forgiveness. Also a warning to be wary of others secretly working to gain advantages. Element is there. The seven relates to overcoming trials and temptation. I also call this the thief card.
Yeah, I mean, clearly he's caught in the act.
Yep. So if it's around coin cards, I tell people, watch your money.
Mm-hmm.
Watch your money. The 8, upright. Trapped in bondage, imprisoned in a cage of swords. The blindfold makes the findings the way out difficult. But the swords and this blindfold are usually metaphorical. The blindfold may be self-imposed. It may be fear or insecurity that is keeping the subject locked up in an unpleasant place. They may be overwhelmed with worries that prevent them from seeing the situation clearly. With boldness and courage, escape is possible, depending on the questions and the influences of the surrounding cards. However, the Eight of Swords in some cases may actually represent legal judgments, resulting in imprisonment, or injuries resulting in hospitalization. Traditionally, accidents, calamity, bad news, violence, crisis, censure, conflict, and illness. Reversed, unfortunately, not a complete opposite. While small successes through hard work are suggested, it will require persistence and ingenuity to break free, and there will be ups and downs along the way. Traditionally, opposition, misfortune, danger, difficulty, overcoming past treachery. Its element is air. The H relate to progress and persistence. So one of the things I want to note in this, notice the water, how her feet are in the water. And so if the water is moving, so if you watch this, she can follow the trail of water to get out of the swords. So that was one thing that was one thing that was noted when I was reading about tarot and the different paths in the card, that if she's blinded, but she's also very intelligent because she could follow the trail of water to get through the swords.
Huh. That's good insight.
So
I have a lot of questions about this next card. So I feel a lot when I see this picture.
So this really depends a lot on what's on side of it because it has multiple meanings.
Yes, there's so much. There is a lot going on even in the picture itself.
So upright, isolation, depression, negativity, desperate sorrow, bad dreams, or trouble sleeping, overwhelmed by worries. Though the problems are serious, it may be time to start looking for solutions rather than focus on past events. Traditionally, delay, disappointment, despair. In some contexts, this card is thought to suggest the possibility of miscarriage or death. Reverse, the struggle to overcome depression and pessimism. The flame of recovery could be starting to flicker. It may not be easy, but this reversal might signify the first and most difficult steps have been taken. Traditionally, struggle, doubt, shame, rumors, and defiance. Element is air. The 9 relates to self-awareness, completion, and integrity. So a lot of times, it really depends when I look at this card by what's around it, because it could be illness, it could be worry, it could be bad dreams, trouble sleeping. It could be an omen. It could be a lot of things for me. It depends on what I feel and what's around it. I never see death in the cards because I don't believe in death. I believe in birth and rebirth. So I never really see death. I might see illness, and depending if I had a strength card next to this 9 of Swords that was upside down, I might see illness. that
Okay,
could
yeah,
lead
because
to
he's like
a severe
waking
illness.
up.
Right.
There's to me, I look at this and there's a lot going on. I notice his bedspread right away because it's very Renaissance medieval kind of design going on. Um, I'm curious. I thought like, oh
Well,
shoot,
remember when these cards were
yeah,
made
that's why
too.
I love that. Just the pictures themselves within the cards. It really it
Right.
tells a
How many
story in
men? How
itself.
many men sleep? Or I think that is a man with
It
the
is a
short hair.
man.
Sleep in nightgowns. I mean,
Exactly, with
So,
roses on their
right,
bed.
right.
So it's yeah, there's a lot going on. And are the swords on the wall,
I'm not
perhaps?
being stereotypical because that might be me, but I'm just saying
When you wake up in
in
your
this
nightgown,
you will
no,
never see this in a movie or TV of
no.
today.
Mm-mm.
You know. All right. Upright. So this is the Ten of Swords. So upright, it's a card of endings, hopes dashed, a battle lost. Things are as bad as they can get. Not particularly a warning of physical injury, though. Betrayal, false friends, or a need to alert for enemies may be suggested. Most likely, it is time to end the struggle, take stock, and move on to new things. Reversed, since things can't get any worse, they're going to get better. Windfall profits or unexpected kindness may be received. However, gains and success may be temporary. In reverse, this card means not entirely opposite or its upright aspect. It may be a warning of ups and downs along the way for a time. Its element is air, that tends relate to reaping the rewards, attainment, achievement, fulfillment. The easiest way to remember this card is you stabbed in the back.
Very simple.
Yep.
Yep. And it can't get much worse than
Yeah.
that.
All right. Let's move on to the page. The Page of Swords. Alertness, readiness, espionage, or surveillance. Studying the situation, possibly defensiveness. Awaiting something with expectation. Often this card foretells the coming of an important message regarding a difficult or complex issue. Most of the swords are all about issues in your life. Notice that, or legal stuff, or something to do with issues.
Yeah, this deck seems kind of negative a
Well,
little bit.
it's all about issues. That's usually
Yeah.
what all the swords. So each like coins are about value, swords are about issues,
Cups are
cups
about
are emotions, and the wands are mostly about career, business, daily life things. And you're going to see that as you're going through them. Perhaps the message contains the solution. In the upright, the news is often good. Also note the sword carried by the page. Caution with sharp objects such as scissors or knives is suggested.
always.
Yes. Reverse, the page is not someone to confide in. Often a liar or a gossip. Transitory communication problems are suggested. Errors in written documents, hesitation, or difficulty speaking may occur. It may also represent someone who has been mistreated as a child and feels beaten down and insecure. Nevertheless, the page reverse can be spiteful and cutting. This aspect also represents important news, but in this case, it is less likely to be good. Its element is air, the page related to the messengers, the children, openness, risk takers. The Knight of Swords.
I like
Determination,
that picture too.
will, perhaps anger, leading a life and death charge into harm's way. The knight believes he is right. He is not prepared to accept less than victory. Although he is equipped with outstanding intelligence and wit, he must be on guard against impetuousness and impatience, which are his weakness. He craves action and may be prone to start fights for the excitement of it. He is brave, but he can also be a bully. At his best, he may be the hero of the battle. At his worst, he may be the cause of the war. Upright, this warrior is hard to stop and is likely to win the victory.
Even the horse looks determined in this picture. I like it.
Reverse. When reversed, the Knight of Swords still strives for victory, but in this aspect, a dark side presents itself. Bravery must be replaced by treachery. Intelligence supplanted by cunning. Reverse Knight may connive and backstab to have his way, or his revenge. The reversal could also indicate fatigue or futility and letdown following his explosive charge. Depending on the context of the reading, this card reverse may also be interpreted as an impeding troubles with air travel.
Huh.
Don't need to see
I
that
was
one
gonna
right
say,
now.
that's been
Its
happening.
element is air. The knights relate to energy, travel, adventure, aggression, and goals. All right. The Queen of Swords, a woman who has been tempered by loss and sorrow, a strong, honorable, independent person. Demanding of herself, she is intolerant of others who are less demanding of themselves. Meeting her expectations may be difficult. Highly intelligent, she generously shared her knowledge. A great communicator of logic and fact. Behind her cold exterior, her intentions are good, but she can be hard to get close to. Traditionally, sadness, separation, widowhood. Reverse, the reverse Queen of Swords is not altogether the opposite, but her sorrows and disappointments may have left her bitter. Her intentions may not be so honorable as when upright. She might take solace in watching others endure sorrow. Her exceptional communication skills could be used to hurt others. Paradoxically, the reverse queen could also suffer from problems communicating. When looking at health issues, respiratory problems due to allergies or pollution are possible. Traditionally spiteful, wickedness, maliciousness, deceit, and vengeance. The element is air. The queen relates to motherhood, matriarchal authority, attraction, and nurturing. And our last one of the swords
That's the king.
is going to be the king. The Kingdom of Swords embodies the character principles, intellect, and communication. Honest, strict, intelligent, the King of Swords is fair and balanced, but unyielding. When representing a person, he might be a judge, military officer, police officer, or physician. Someone of high ethics who backs his word with his actions. This card may suggest critical analysis of literary or legal documents or technical writing. Traditionally, judgment, command, authority, law, militarism, power. Reversed. The reverse King of Swords may take strictness to the extreme. He may be unsympathetic, uncaring, heartless, excessively harsh. Penalties could be based on anger or vindictiveness, possibly blind conservatism that blocks progress. In some cases, this
Curmudgeonly.
there you go. Behavior might be a result of oncoming senility. Uncertainty, or inability to make decisions could also be suggested. Traditionally, cruelty, perversity, inhumanity, barbarity, evil intentions. Its element is air. The kings relate to fatherhood, patriarchal authority, management, and competence. I believe that is us. And that's where the information is taken from. All right, folks. So here we go. Let's look at the swords. So the Queen of Swords. Here, you gonna pull these out?
I got this.
Got this. Queen of Swords. There should be an angel. So the angel on the Queen of Swords. The angel in the tarot is symbolic of divine messages. They are messengers of important information. In a reading, the appearance indicates a message relating to the card may be coming to the querent in the form of inspiration, divine intervention, or subtlety. That's a subtlety. Angels are symbolized higher thoughts and ideals. Okay. The Four of Swords. There should be some armor in the Four of Swords and the Knight of Swords. All right.
Yes, so we've got the person entombed and then the person on the horse.
So the symbolic meaning of the armor deal with protection, preparation, and strength. Most tarot deck renditions depict all the knights in full armor. The armor indicates the need to protect ourselves when engaging in activities referenced in a reading. The Two of Swords has a bench. The bench is symbolic of taking a moment to examine the details in a reading. Benches indicate the current need to sit back, relax, and take time to examine or savor the situation expressed in the card layout. The Two of Swords and the Eight of Swords have blindfolds. As one would guess, blindfolds deal with our inability to see things clearly. They represent unwillingness to face the truth, an ability to accept the facts, or a sign that something is being hidden from us. In a reading, blindfolds are a sign that we need to be honest with ourselves and do more research and or get a different perspective. The Six of Swords has a boat. Boats are a sign there are some pressing thoughts rumbling within our subconscious. These thoughts will have a tendency to put us in motion, and this is another symbolic trait of the boat. Boats deal with deeper thoughts and the motion these thoughts produce. In a reading, boats may also indicate travel or movement in a different direction. The King of Swords has a butterfly in it.
Where is that?
It's
right at the very top.
A universal symbol for transformation. Butterflies are shown on the Queen and King of Swords and typically indicate a change in thoughts of the querent and are some close in the querent's life. Butterflies go through several changes and transformations before they develop into their final stage of beauty. They are a symbol that we as humans do the same thing to reach our end goal and obtain a better way of thought and living. The Eight of Swords should have a castle in it. Castles, symbol meaning deal with goals. Castles are physical representations of our need to build upon strong foundation in order to obtain our goals. Castle may also deal with the sheltering of ourselves or limiting ourselves from reaching our goals. They're also a symbol of obtaining our desires. The Six of Swords should have a devil in it. I'm sorry, children in it. Same thing.
Interchangeable, yeah.
Same thing, yeah. Interchangeable. No, I'm sorry. The Six of Swords has children. And so children represent promise, hope, fresh starts, new beginnings, new ideas, and a fresh way to look at the world. Children are full of promise for the future as they are a symbol of this promise. When they show up in the cards in a reading, it could mean the beginning of a new adventure, the new promise of a new beginning. Or it could mean children are just on their way. Seven of Swords should have a city or a village. Cities represent centers or gatherings of people, thoughts, energy, or ideas. They are symbols of the culmination of a group that meets for a common goal. They are symbols of protection, harmony, and teamwork. When you notice the cities and village in a reading, it indicates a group effort is required. Our current must tap into some energy centers or thought centers to accomplish what he or she must. Five of Swords, Three of Swords, Ace of Swords have clouds. Clouds hold the symbol meaning of revelation, and all the aces do too. Consider out of the midst of our deepest thoughts, suddenly an epiphany comes. A bright idea comes out from nowhere. This is the basic cloud symbol meaning. Depending on the card, clouds can also symbolize confusion or clouded judgment. Primary clouds represent higher thought and messages from the divine. Okay, Ace of Swords. All the aces have a hand. The hand is power, domination, protection. These are primary symbol meanings related to the hand. Hands are historically seen as points of transmission, meaning we give and receive from the hands. It's no accident the powerful ace of cards are depicted with the hand holding the suit symbol. This is a clear message of force and power relating to the indicated suit. It is also reminded that we are able to both give and receive those attributes pertaining to the referring suit.
Question about that real quick, because I just noticed this. Is there any meaning behind that those are two very different plants hanging from the crown? I'm going to share that with the readers. I thought that was kind of interesting.
We'll have to see. I think we did cover that in another one. I don't know.
Because I'm sure that because one looks like it has like holly or something on it.
It may be on here. We'll have to see. I remembered reading something about two different vines. So it may be on here. If it is, we'll see it. I'm not sure. But I remember there being something about a vine on here. One was a grapevine and one was something else.
Because that one looks like a fern and the other looks like holly.
We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Three of Swords. As one would assume, and this is a heart. As one would assume, the heart has long been a symbol of love, joy, and affection. The heart is a symbol of truth, courage, and conscience. The symbolic heart is the center of existence. Physically speaking, it pumps out life to the rest of the body. When we note the heart in our reading, we must be mindful of our own center and what is the center of our focus. We may also ask what we love most, that which is positive or negative. I thought we had a card that did give us both of them, give us what the vines were. We'll have to see. The Knight of Swords, the horse. All the knights have horses. Mm-hmm. So featured in all the knight cards, the horse meaning deal with strength, motion, action, and vitality.
Ice.
A lot of wand. Two of Swords has a moon, and it does. I remember seeing that.
Oh yeah, it's cute. It's a crescent moon too.
Moon, yeah. The moon symbol deals with the cycles, time, psychic power, reflection, and emerging from one phase into another. Consider the power of the moon is able to influence oceans and affects the realm of nature in a strong, subtle way. As a symbol of femininity, the moon is a sign of the soft, intuitive side of us all. When the moon lights up in our readings, it is prompting to consider our levels of awareness. The moon asks us if we're listening to our intuition and what we are allowing to influence our direction in life. It's all wands. Is there any swords? Oh, yeah. The Ten of Swords has mountains, and the Eight of Swords has mountains. Seen on the cards, the mountain symbol meanings deal with triumph, challenge, attainment, and realization. Mountains represent timeless and an endurance that is infinite. When those mountain peaks out of the cards into our attention, we consider the vastness of our universe and contemplate our place within it. We may also want to consider the heights to which we are climbing and to what realization of our goals may mean for us and those around us. The Six of Swords, Ten of Swords has an ocean. Ocean symbol meanings deal with infinite possibilities. Consider the ocean and you will be considering the essence of vastness, mystery, and depth. It seems inexhaustible and the holder of wondrous things unseen. When the oceans and the cards crash their waves against our consciousness, it is time to pay homage to the great divine, meaning we should recognize the beguiling power around us, the animating force that runs through us, and the expansive and expressive nature of the universe. In other words, we must acknowledge that there may be other powers at work in our lives, and it may be time to release our control in order to allow these powers to open up incredible opportunities. Thus, I had that conversation tonight, actually, with someone that I was having a session with. Three of Swords has rain. Does it? Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it
it's
does.
raining
it does.
down. Yeah,
it does. Yes, it
heart.
does. Traditionally, rain held symbol meaning of cleansing as well as, fecundity.
Fecundity? I don't even know that one.
It says it means ancient culture honored the rain for its ability to provide life to crops. In the case of the Three of Swords, we can take this symbol meaning as one of the clearing and washing away the old in order to accept the new. The imagery of card is oppressive, as it should be for all its indications. When we see the rain falling in this card, it is a reminder that the rain washes away the dirt. Storms do pass, and we are left with more fertile soil for planting at the end of the storm. Four of Swords has stained glass. Stained glass is symbolic of perception and how our vision can change according to our perception and beliefs. The art of staining glass reaches back to ancient alchemy when certain compounds were mixed with glass to bring about transformational effects upon the viewer. When you seem to be looking through the stained glass window of your reading, it's a sign to begin getting honest about your perception of the situation. Are you seeing things clearly or looking through rose-colored glasses?
I had that conversation last night. Not about me, but someone
The
else.
Tomb and the Four of Swords. Tomb symbol meanings deal with laying to rest the thoughts and things that no longer serve us. When we see the tomb in our reading, we must not misunderstand the message. This symbol has very little to do with physical death. Rather, it deals with the coming out of poorly suited mindsets and freeing ourselves from the tomb-like belief system. Often this period coming out occurs after much time of stagnation. Another facet of the tomb where we are once interred or encased for a time, we evolve from our tomb into a new phase of understanding.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. Queen of Swords should have a waterfall. Water is a symbol of emotion and the subconscious. Therefore, waterfalls deal with the constant running and flowing of movement of our emotions and the stirring movements of our deeper minds. Observing the nature of waterfalls, we see that typically move at such a rushing speed that we tend to take everything with them in their path. Rocks, trees, and debris in the midst of the waterfall is subject to its pull. This is symbolic that we must not let our emotions run away from us. Further, the waterfall leads us to a plummeting drop and a crashing end against jagged rocks. This is a lesson that when we are not in control of our emotions and thoughts, then they control us, potentially leading us down a rocky demise. And that is it for the... Didn't tell
Nothing
us.
on vines.
It didn't tell us
Yeah.
about the vines. I was surprised. I thought we read something on the vines.
Maybe we'll Google that and get back to it.
Yeah. Wow, that was a lot.
Mm-hmm. It's been a lot to learn and discuss, but I like how you're saying that it still is interpretive.
But but the one thing I know that works for everybody, and it's been consistent with every person that I've ever met, is that the key factor to reading is you have to trust what you get.
Yes, trust your spirit guides always.
Trust
They're
them.
not lying to you.
And if you don't trust what you get, then you might as well hang it up. You have to trust it. You can't. And then again, and you have to be ethical, because I got people that say some wild stuff, and you have to be very ethical on what you say, because you're dealing with people's lives. You're dealing with people's emotions. You're dealing with their lives. You could say something could really harm somebody, and so you have to take that in consideration. So you do have to be careful what you say to people. You can be crazy about it, but you got to watch what you say.
And I always like to do the confidentiality with it too. It's almost like attorneys and
when you're in a gallery, though, when you're in a gallery, you can't be confidential.
One-on-one.
One-on-one is confidential, but when you're in a gallery and you're sitting there with, 15 to 200 people in a room, because I've had galleries as big as 200 and as small as 6, 4 or 6, but these other people in a room, everybody's going to know what you're saying.
True.
But you try to be mindful of what you say. Then we love you guys, and we
have
will
a lovely evening.
And let's just see y'all later. Good night. Thank you for joining us at Touching Eternity, the podcast. Talk to you later. Bye.